You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 111. Zhuge Dan raises an army. He battles Sima Zhao. Although the Wei commanders, Deng Ai and Qin Tai, hold a banquet to celebrate defeating the Shu, they know that Jiang Wei will not be able to resist the temptation, despite all the odds, to try to invade yet again. And sure enough, Jiang Wei voices his opinion that he should invade again. This time opposition in Shu is more vocal. However, Jiang Wei dismisses this by saying there are 5 reasons why they will succeed. Firstly, the failure of the Wei army to defeat the Shu at the River Tao has dampened their enthusiasm, to put it mildly. Secondly, we will transport our troops by ship, they must march, so we will be more rested. Thirdly, we are well trained, they, frankly, are not. Fourthly, we have had a bumper harvest. And finally, they won't know where we will strike, so we'll have to divide their forces. We can move as one unit. Even though Xiahou Ba points out how skillful Deng Ai is at military strategy, Jiang Wei simply brushes this aside. So once again Jiang Wei advances into Wei. And Xiahou Ba was right. Deng Ai is a better military planner. No matter where Jiang Wei advances, Deng Ai is there to confront him, or has placed troops ready to intercept him. The Shu losses are great, and the gains, absolutely nothing at all. Qin Tai and Deng Ai overwhelm Jiang Wei and his Shu troops at every occasion, and once again Jiang Wei has no option but to retreat back to Guanzhong. And this time his men complain loudly, and the grieving relatives of those killed complain vociferously. Jiang Wei has to accept that he must take full responsibility for the disaster and be demoted. The Wei commanders celebrate, and Emperor Cao Mao changes the title of the year to that of celebrating victory to show how pleased he is. But everyone knows that the real ruler is without doubt Sima Zhao. It is he who takes all the key decisions without even the pretense of asking the emperor. In such circumstances it is only a matter of time before aspirations of imperial glory begin to shape Sima Zhao's thoughts. He is encouraged in this by his chief advisor, Jia Chong, who offers to go and take soundings as to how such an idea might go down in the country. The first person he visits is Zhuge Dan, a cousin of Kong Ming, who lives in Huainan, and is the controller of the forces on both sides of the river Huai. Despite being related to the former prime minister of the enemy country of Shu, Zhuge Dan through his own abilities has risen slowly through the ranks in Wei. While dining with him, as if in an aside, Jia Chong mentions that some people of worth have been saying they no longer feel the emperor is up to the task, and that the regent Sima Zhao should take over. They see him as more worthy, but I wonder what your opinion is? Zhuge Dan's reaction is immediate. If this were to take place, I would die fighting to protect the throne. He also criticizes Jia Chong as the son of a long-time servant of the Wei for even raising it. All this is swiftly reported back to Sima Zhao, who is rattled by such opposition, and decides to get rid of Zhuge Dan. He tries to lure him to court by offering him a new post, but Zhuge Dan immediately knows the real reason. A letter demanding the execution of Zhuge Dan is also sent to the imperial governor of the region, Yuchen. Learning of the letter, Zhuge Dan responds immediately. He draws together 1,000 of his men, seizes the provincial capital, slays Yuchen and his entire family, and then sends a formal memorial to the emperor denouncing Sima Zhao and his crimes. Then he recruits men from the fields, and within weeks has an army of around 150,000. He also seeks an alliance with Wu to back up his defiance. In Wu, Sun Jun, the prime minister, has died, and his vicious, cruel and tyrannical cousin Sun Chen has taken over. There is nothing the emperor Sun Liang can do to control him. An appeal for support comes from Zhuge Dan, and upon reading it Sun Chen responds immediately by sending 70,000 men. When Zhuge Dan's memorial to the emperor arrives at the court, Sima Zhao reads it, and resolves not only to send an army to crush the revolt, but to lead it himself. However, Jia Chong points out that Sima Zhao might face a revolt in the court, while he is away, unless he takes the imperial family with him. So Cao Mao is forced to join the army along with the Queen Mother. The attacking army of around 260,000 advances like a tidal wave towards the south, while Zhu Yi of the Wu moves his army north. The first encounter goes to the advantage of the Wei troops, and the Wu have to retreat and take stock. Then Zhuge Dan moves his forces up, and the real battle begins. Who will win? Shall we find out?